Week 2 assignment by Robin Hanson. Life is impacted by so many different aspects. Personally, I am healthy. However, I have watched two very important people in my life handle illnesses that could have potentially been from the environment that we were brought up in. My sister has Crohn's and colitis, and my brother has asthma. These are all chronic illnesses that have been linked to being around secondhand smoke. We all grew up in a household with a very heavy smoker. As you can see, this living environment could have been the cause of both my siblings having these diseases. There are three different theories that help to grasp the understanding of a disability or disease in relation to the social science. They are the biopsychosocial paradigm, Bronfenbrenner ecological theory, and person and environment perspective. While there are many different theories that help society better understand how life experiences directly impact one's life, the biopsychosocial paradigm is one of the greatest impacts on society since it treats diseases and disabilities from a multidimensional stance. The biopsychosocial paradigm was a completely new way of looking at modern medicine. It did not just use one specific approach to ensure that somebody was healthy. However, it used body, mind, and social aspects to ensure that one was overall healthy. The example from the text included treating depression from a biological, psychological, and sociological approach. This ensured that the patient was completely healthy in all of these different aspects. Another article by June and Zipfeld, it talked about all of the different ways that this is actually being used in many different areas of science to treat not only depression but other things as well. The two that they brought up were eating disorders as well as expanding the cross-border dialogue between different stress indicators and how looking at other aspects of somebody's life, it could actually impact and make them healthier if they look at the entire well-being of somebody. Knowledge of the biopsychosocial circumstances of the public is critical for a holistic understanding of individuals, conducting thorough assessments and developing treatment plans and delivering interventions that maximize the likelihood of treatment effectiveness. In order to make sure that the treatment is completely effective, it's critical to look at it from all different angles of one's well-being, not just one specific thing, since this could lead to missing something. The second theory changed the mindset of what was once a dominant and very narrow perspective. This theory is where each layer of a person's environmental experience is actually made up of norms, values, roles, and expectations. There are many different levels, and it is critical in order to understand someone to know how the experiences are within and also between the different layers. Here are the different layers of the ecological system. The microsystem is the smallest one. This is made up of meaningful face-to-face relationships. Some examples could include family, friends, or coworkers. Then you have the mesosystem. These are relationships that occur between two or more microsystems. For example, something that may be learned at home may not actually be acceptable once you get into society. This would be that those two different microsystems interact with each other. Ecosystems are any outside factors that directly impact an individual, but they are usually out of the individual's control. For example, somebody may receive a bonus at work, or on a negative note, they could also receive a demotion. Both of these are outside factors that could really impact positively or negatively somebody's career, which ultimately would affect their entire life. Then you have a macro system, which is a cultural or social structural element. This could be maybe your socioeconomic status or just cultural norms that you're used to. Lastly is the chronosystems. These are profound events that impact someone's development overall. For example, it could be a marriage, divorce, or even as large as your entire national or as big as your nation declaring a war on someone. Lastly, we have the person and environment perspective. This helps us to better understand social problems by examining structural and environmental factors that somebody encounters during their life. This broadens the overall study of health, illness, and disability, since it not only looks at the disability, but also what actually happened in order for this to occur in somebody's life. From the text, we learned about how cancer was once thought of as a personal health issue. However, with more understanding, we now understand that environmental factors, such as being around toxins or bad areas, could actually help to contribute to one causing cancer. Using person and environment, it's a new way that employers are actually utilizing the same type of theory to match up a person to a job or environment in which they can be successful. From learning about the person and environment, it was shown that somebody in a negative or bad environment could get impacted negatively, whereas if they were in a positive environment, they could actually not be healthy or they could be healthy and have a positive outcome. This was important because the importance of such overlap between the person and the environment is the foundational assumption of the various person and environment fit theories. So they use this theory to actually bring it into the work environment to match people up with an environment that they can be successful. I thought that was pretty interesting. Here are the references used for this speech. Thank you.